eher. Den glas partiet grå.
I learn respect.
I learn effort.
I learn responsibility.
It's time to give a bit of your time to others.
Elegance is an attitude. Longines.
Welcome to Wroclaw, the last stop on the World Cup circuit, which is why so many of the best in the business came to Poland for one last shot at securing a spot at the World Cup finals. This city has played a big part in European history, becoming the capital of a region known as Silesia. This past week, though, it's become the capital of archery's World Cup tour. The population of Poland's largest western city growing by about 300 temporary residents, all of them peering into the looking glass and hoping to find their way to Switzerland. Wherever you happen to be watching today, Dzień dobry, merhaba, hola, ni hao, bonjour, konnichiwa, grüezi, privyet, shalom, guten tag, ciao, annyeong haseo, and good day, mates. You're looking live at the manicured grounds surrounding Centennial Hall, the crown jewel and best-known landmark here in Wrocław, Poland, site of Stage 4 of the 2014 Archery World Cup Tour. Along with Canada's compound archer, Hugh McDonald, I'm Carl Arky. Recurve archer, excuse me. Rolling out the red carpet here in Poland, I should know never to ad-lib. Welcome, Hugh. It's good to see you again with your recurve bow.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me again.
Going to be a great afternoon, and actually some suspense and some drama here this afternoon because there is one spot left on the women's side open for Lausanne in the World Cup final, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens in that women's bronze medal match.
I agree. That's the women's individual bronze medal match. I think that it's between Tatiana Segana and Deepika Kumari, and I think Segana is in tough in that match. It will be interesting to see whether or not she can pull up her socks and win to make it to Lausanne.
And you mentioned Deepika Kumari. Here she is. She has not been a factor all season long on the World Cup circuit. Was left off the Indian team for the first two stages in Shanghai and then in Medellin. She did get to go to Antalya, did not medal there, but here she is in 3 events today. She's already medaled this morning and has a chance at 2 more medals this afternoon.
She's an absolutely solid shooter. She's had a bit of a rough patch, I guess, to start the season, as I understand it. She made a few changes in the off-season, and then at the outside of this season, found out they didn't pay off, had to take a little bit of time to switch back to what was working for her before, and it seems like the transition back to what works successfully has been a great move for her, and she's out here vying for medals all day long.
We'll start with mixed teams, and in mixed teams, 2 athletes, 1 male, 1 female per country. Competition plays out over 4 sets, 2 arrows per competitor per set. So each team will take 16 shots to decide the winner. We now use the set system for the Recurve mixed team competition to determine the outcome. 2 points for winning a set, 1 point for splitting. First to 5 is your winner. And we will begin with a mixed team bronze medal match featuring India and Belarus. India, number 1 after qualifying. Belarus, number 11 after qualification. And there are the two the two archers from Belarus. And you are looking at Katerina Timofeyeva and Anton Prilipov, who this week won a tiebreaker with Denmark, then a 5-3 decision over the USA before losing to Russia in the semifinals. They are competing for the first World Cup medal for Belarus. Now, the Indian team coming out onto the field of play. India with a 6-0 win over Egypt earlier this week, then a 5-1 decision over France in the quarterfinals before losing to Mexico 5-3. Very strong lineup for Team India. India very prevalent this morning in the competition. India winning the women's team gold medal, and that included Deepika Kumari. Then the men's team won the silver medal. So it was a productive morning for India. They hope for more production this afternoon from Deepika Kumari and Jayanta Tulukdar.
If I remember correctly, both of these athletes actually have already had competition on Target 1, so they already have field experience as well, which it'll be interesting. It's been a number of hours since they last competed. It'll be interesting to see whether that works in their favor or not. The impression that we had from the stands was that the target range, at least Target 1, is shooting a meter or 2 longer than the practice range. Sorry, the tournament range is shooting a meter or 2 longer than the practice ranger. So a lot of the athletes' initial arrows were dropping low. It'll be interesting to see whether or not India has that happen to them over on this side, or whether or not they're able to use their previous experience on this field to their advantage.
Just about perfect weather conditions in Poland. Temperature right around 30 degrees Celsius, and very slight breezes blowing here today.
All morning the wind was very, very calm. There were a few gusts here and there, but very, very little to affect the archers. And once the arrow's in flight, it's generally pretty good.
Prilipov, 30 years old, ranked 38th in the world. Starts off with a 9. And here is Katerina Timofeyeva, 37 years old. Experienced. And just off to the right.
It looked like she squeezed her bow just a little bit when she released it. Possibly a sign of just a little bit of tension, early nerves, jitters. She'll work those out.
Tulukdar to shoot first for India. Just outside the 9 ring, leaks into the 8. And Deepika Kumari, who looked very, very good this morning on that Indian team that won the women's gold medal.
Nice smooth shot. There's your 10.
She keeps it up. She's on a roll. She got on a roll this morning. She stays on it at least to start this match.
And the seesaw manner that these matches are shot in are a lot of fun, with each team shooting 1 arrow per archer at a time, and then the other team gets a crack at it. It's a great way to sort of be able to apply pressure back and forth across the various athletes.
Back and forth we go with the rotation. Prilipov started with a 9, then shot an 8. Meanwhile, Timofeyeva trying to improve upon her first arrow.
Ooh.
But she's out into the blue ring. That's
trouble.
a 6.
Yep, so India should be able to just cruise to 2 set points on this one. Tulukdar did shoot a 6 as his last arrow in the team round this morning, but that was under a heck of a lot of time pressure.
That was under duress.
Yes. And there's no such duress in this particular instance. He's got himself a 9.
Solid shot.
Really a comfortable shooter. Lots of time on the clock still here.
Talukdar already with a mixed team silver medal at stage 3 2 months ago in Turkey. And now here is the shot that clinches the set for India, and they take a 2-0 lead. So Deepika Kumari going for her second medal of the day. She's hoping to get 3 on the day. She'll be in the women's bronze medal match coming up later on, the critical bronze medal match that will determine who is the 7th entrant, or entry, I should say, for the World Cup finals in Lausanne next month.
In the women's category. It will be interesting to see whether or not the toll of being in so many matches, so many medal matches on a given day, in addition to the fact that she can't continually go back to the training facility and just re-warm up and warm up from fresh. That's an advantage that Tatiana will have, but this is not on anybody's mind right now. Right now, Deepika is interested in winning this particular medal. You always stay current, you always stay in the now. This is the medal that she's competing for. The last set is gone. This is a new set of arrows. Everybody's starting off at 0. Both teams are vying for the 2 points that are available. And away we go.
So Belarus trailing 2-0 in the match. Will shoot first. Prilipov, ranked 38th in the world, was 12th back in 2003, gets it inside the 10 ring.
That was a nice looking shot from the angle that we had. It was a nice reaction off the string.
Big, strong archer. And now Ekaterina.
Not to be outdone.
Dead center.
And here's the joy. That's one of the joys of set play. That 6 is forgotten. It's in the past. Now India has to deal with a 10 and an X.
Talukdar with another 9. And here comes Deepika Kumari, the 3-time World Cup finalist and silver medalist on each of those 3 occasions.
Nice, Dan.
Beautiful shot. Shooting so well.
So for all the work that Belarus has done up to this point, they're 1 point up on this set. They still need to keep the pressure on.
Prilipov looking for another 10.
Oh dear, there's a 5. He's got to fix that second shot.
Way outside.
He doesn't quite know what happened on that one. Which is almost a better way to be. It looks like a wind gust just picked up fairly significantly. So a wind gust, yeah, see there's another one, same direction exactly.
Blowing it left, yeah.
I wonder.
Well, look at the windsock right now. It's picking up.
And the sails in the left-hand side, they're really starting to move. The athletes don't feel a whole lot because the booth, oddly enough, where we are, is blocking a lot of the wind coming from the right side of the field. So they may not be able to feel the wind as well.
Doesn't seem to be having the effect on target number 1 for India, though.
No, and they may have learned a little bit from the previous shooters, or they may have a little bit better feel for what the wind is doing. I can't say. Oh, and there's another 10.
Oh, she's got a feel for it all right.
All right, that's 4-0.
Hotter than the Sahara Desert right now. Deepika Kumari.
1 more point, and that's another medal for Deepika.
So India poised to take a clean sweep unless Belarus can come back and win this next set. Cannot afford to split it. Belarus has to win the next set, otherwise it's over and the bronze medal belongs to India. And Deepika Kumari would be 2 for 2 on the day, setting her up for 3 medals if she can get past Tatiana Segana in the women's bronze medal match. But that's putting the cart before the horse. We've got 1 more set here to go.
At least.
Yes, at least. As Belarus fighting for the first World Cup medal in the history of that nation. And right now fighting for their lives in this match, down 4-0.
Well, knowing that, now I kind of want to cheer for Belarus.
We have an old saying, no cheering in the press box.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I learned that a long, long time ago. The hard way, too.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, dear.
So Belarus with the back up against the wall.
Well, that's interesting. It looks like the field is partly fallen apart.
Winds must be picking up a little bit. And we'll get a little housekeeping done here before the next set begins.
Well, you need to have the 1 meter line because there's a foul. If you have 2 athletes across the 1 meter line at any given time during the team round, that's a yellow card, and the athlete who is going up to shoot needs to step back off and then step up again to shoot the arrow. So if the 1 meter line isn't there, the judge can't make that call. So this is a necessary field repair.
Chris Marsh doing the repair work, patch-up work, putting everything together. If anybody's got some Elmer's glue, we could sure use you.
Oh, I think a staple gun or a nail would be.
Yeah, yeah.
Or he can just sit there and kneel on it. I suppose that would work too.
Chris may have to stay there for the duration.
And if anybody happens to hit a tennis ball down there, he'll be ready to go for it too.
Exactly. By the way, if you look back on this World Cup campaign of 2014, in Shanghai, Stage 1, Great Britain defeated Chinese Taipei to win the mixed team bronze medal. Then in Medellin, it was India defeating Mexico 5-1. That time it was Atanu Das and Bombaila Devilashram who picked up the bronze medal for India in mixed team competition. Then on Konyaaltı Beach in Antalya, Korea handled Japan 6-2. Kim Woo-jun and Lee Tuk-young taking care of business on the beach in Antalya. However, India could make it 2 bronze medals in mixed team competition out of the 4 stages if Kumari and Talukdar can finish this off.
And with Dean Alberga out there with the duct tape fixing the line, we are all good and ready to go. Duct tape. Is there anything it can't fix?
I was just about to say that. You stole the words out of my mouth, you. Duct tape takes care of everything. Whatever ails you, duct tape will take care of it. Except perhaps if you're down 4-0 in a bronze medal match. I don't know. Prilipov, who shot well in Armenia at the European Championships last month. Nice shot there, a 9. And the wind seems to have died down just a little bit.
Yep, the various sails in the background you can see there just luffing a little bit. Nice 9.
So Timofeyeva.
If luffing is the appropriate sailing term for that.
Jayanta Talukdar.
Always very, very relaxed.
3rd at the World Cup Finals in 2010 and displaying the kind of form that won him a bronze medal.
Finally got himself a 10.
Yeah.
He's been working towards it, but his teammate has been definitely carrying the team here. Nice steady shot.
Kumari. Kumari just cannot seem to miss.
Nope. Jayanta says, I'll shoot a 10. Deepika says, well, I can do a little bit better than that. It looks like she's ready.
Belarus in trouble, trailing 4-0 in the match and trailing by 2 midway through what could be the final set.
Uh-oh, that was a big flinch. This is trouble. Ooh, got away with it.
Big, strong guy, Anton Prilipov.
Yeah, I guess he had the power to reset and pull that shot through, but to me, I thought I saw a pretty good flinch in there.
Timofeyeva, who finished 17th
Nice
in
quick
London
shot,
at the Summer Games.
Ooh, with 1 second left, yeah. Not left with a lot of time. Hard to shoot those good arrows. India just needs to close it out nicely, and they'll be fine. That'll do.
Almost a 10 for Talukdar.
Almost the 10 is good enough. We only need
6 or better.
Yes.
A 6 would tie it, give them the win. A 7 gives them the win outright. They win outright either way. And there's the 8. Plenty. Gives the set to India and gives the match to Deepika Kumari and Jayanta Talukdar. I don't think that Deepika was all that thrilled about the shot. She's happy to win, but I don't think she was happy about the follow-through and the way her hand came back after releasing.
No, and sometimes that's a challenge with a shot like that where there isn't the pressure. I think maybe the same thing happened to Serrano as at the end of the team round as well. He shot a 7 that wasn't a great shot. It was enough to win, which is ultimately what matters.
Sure.
But when the pressure's off and if you allow yourself to think, oh, gee, all I need is a 7, then ease up off the gas pedal a little bit. And instead of executing that really nice, crisp shot that you're known for, it gets a little...
It has been a very good day for Talukdar, for Deepika Kumari, and there's more to come a little bit later on in women's competition as Deepika will be back in the women's bronze medal match. They've got the cameras out, getting all the shots, and trying to stay out of this warm, warm sunshine here in Wroclaw, Poland.
Oh, why would you stay out of it? It's gorgeous.
Oh, it is a warm day. That's right, you're Canadian. I forgot. You're looking for the warm sunshine all the time.
I do enjoy it. Whenever it's around, I'm like a gecko. I'll just be out there on a rock absorbing as much as I can.
Well, let's absorb the next match, and this is the mixed team gold medal match. Should be a good one, Russia and Mexico. You see the Russian team coming out. They qualified second this week. Russia conquering Spain in the 1/8 round. Took care of Germany in the quarterfinals, beat Belarus in the semifinals. And this will be Russia's first World Cup medal in mixed team competition, believe it or not. On your left, Tatiana Segana, and on your right, Bayer Zivektorjev.
I guarantee I will stumble over Bayer's last name if I try, so I will probably just stick to calling him Bayer all day.
Bayer is fine. He answers to that. So Tatiana Segana, 22 years old, and Zivektorjev, who competed this morning in men's team competition, came up a little bit short in the bronze medal match, hoping to rectify that here in the gold medal match, and he will get a medal one way or the other. Just a matter of the color of that medal. Mexico will have a lot to say about that. The Mexican side beating Poland in a shoot-off this week, then knocking off North Korea in the quarterfinals before beating India in the semis by the count of 5-3.
Yep, this is going to be a good match. It could go either way. I think I've got to give a slight edge to Mexico. Aida Rahman in particular is exceptionally experienced in mixed team events. Velez here, quite an experienced archer, has been to a couple of Olympics. He's quite familiar with the stage. We were talking a little bit over lunch, just sort of wondering whether or not the Mexicans had chosen Velez here for the mixed team because they'd chosen the other 3 men for their men's team. If that was a strategy or just a choice, or we never really did go and look at the numbers and see whether or not he just walked onto this team or whether there was a choice, whether there was a switch made. It's just an interesting thing that we thought what showed up. Not really sure why this team is what it is. Aida Rahman, obviously, she's one of the strongest shooters Mexico has on the women's side.
You were mentioning the Olympics. Velez's grandfather competed in the Munich Olympics, and then 40 years later, his grandson, Luis Eduardo, was on the team that reached the bronze medal match against South Korea in London 2 years ago. And here he is in Wrocław, Poland, leading off for Mexico.
Ooh, a little shaky there.
Yeah, you can see the elbow.
Pulled it off, though. Managed to pull out a 9. Yeah, there was a little bit of a twitch here and there. But he's got a, Ada is a nice solid anchor. She'll be calm and cool as a cucumber under this kind of pressure.
Roman.
There she is. Great execution.
Well done by Aida Roman, who also picked up a medal this morning in the women's gold medal match, picking up a silver medal. Now looking for gold. And here's Bayer Zibektorjev, high on the 8 side.
So it looks like this afternoon this field is shooting a little bit shorter. In fact, there's been a lot of high arrows in the first bit, the first couple of matches.
Segana now.
Really nice smooth execution, but a sip. The shot looked very, very well executed.
22 years old and the new European champion, shooting a 7 on her first shot.
That gives Mexico a 3-point buffer to work with. A pair of 9s is good enough to win this set.
And Velez with a 9. So 3 straight 9s.
He's okay. As long as they keep with the lead, I think he'll be okay, but I'm a little... He appears to be a little bit on the shaky, a little bit on the nervous side. Maybe it's just the first set. Maybe he'll settle down.
Oh, Aida solid.
Yep, very, very calm. And that's 2 points for Mexico.
Sticks the 10, 37. They can't be caught in this set.
Which is a great opportunity, as I always say, for Russia to get a couple of just calming arrows down. That's an interesting little fidget he's got going on. When he comes up to set up, I'm not sure what he's doing with his thumb and his pinky finger, but there seems to be a little bit of a fidget. If we get that angle again.
I should only fidget that well.
Oh, it's probably just one of the routine pieces that he does to settle in. To
part of his routine, yeah.
Absolutely.
And Seganas low with that shot. So the two first shots for Segana a little bit shaky, and the first set goes to Mexico as they grab a 2-0 advantage in this match.
That can vanish very, very quickly.
Question for you, Hugh. We discussed this yesterday. It was a point brought up by Piero Julien Deloche this past week about the X10s and whether they should have greater value than just your average, ordinary 10.
Interesting.
Although,
So
I guess all 10s are beautiful.
And by X10, so just to clarify for the archers out there, an X10 is a type of an arrow as well, and that's not what you're talking about. You're talking about the 10s that are in the smaller circle in the middle, which are X's.
Right.
Okay.
Should that carry greater value, greater weight?
So possibly score an 11?
11, perhaps.
In a match like this, unless it is decided that it scores an 11, I would say it shouldn't carry greater value. Because one of the things they do, the whole point of this shoot-off idea is that you've chosen a zone and everything within there is good enough. That's classified as good enough. And for more or less, it's equal. Now the X is it's a flashy 10, but it's still in that 10 zone. And that's why to decide who's in the top 8 and to decide who makes the cut, if there's a tie for, I believe it's just raw score, they don't even go to 10s and X's, then there's a shoot-off. And that shoot-off is to demonstrate the skill of the athlete. That's what's more important. So, provided you're deciding that 10 ring is as high as it goes, 10 is as high as you can score. Now, if you choose that X ring scores an 11, that's a whole different kettle of fish. And that changes the world records, the nature of the game, the whole bit. If you're going to do that, you might as well just reduce the size of the target, and that makes the 10 ring a little bit smaller.
Interesting points from Hugh McDonald, Canadian recurve archer, joining us here on Archery TV for this afternoon's mixed team and individual matches in Wroclaw, Poland.
Nice X. Now, I bet Mexico at this point would wish that would score an 11, because that would have them tied.
If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, my, what a Merry Christmas we'd all have. 1 point advantage for Russia after the first 2 shots.
So we'll see how they carry it through.
Zibektorjev lost out on that team bronze medal this morning here at stage 4, trying to pick up a gold medal.
Another 9, that's good and solid. One interesting thing, Tatiana here The make of her string is known as a Flemish twist. You can see the little fuzzy burr up near the top limb. Ooh, another 10, very nicely done.
She's caught fire.
It's a slightly different style of how you make the string. It's a little bit of a softer construction. Most of these strings are what's done in what's called a continuous loop. And they're a little bit of a harsher string. The Flemish twist sort of holds itself together. My goodness. Look at the tremble there. Yeah, that's trouble. I wonder what's going on there.
Velez fighting that shot right there.
He looks like he's really having trouble. So that's 2 points to the Russians. But just, you know, an interesting piece of trivia there on the construction of Segena's string. Another nice solid 9.
So a 4-point victory in that set for the Russian side. And it ties the match up at 2-2.
2 set points apiece, which means we return to our original shooting order, which I believe, if I recall correctly, that means that the Mexicans will be shooting first in the next set. And that worked out well for them in the first set, so I'm sure they're happy enough to do so.
In World Cup play this season, Shanghai, it was the United States winning the gold medal at stage 1, blanking Mexico, ironically, 6-0. Then at stage 2, Medellin, Korea beat Brazil in 3 sets. Antalya, Konyaaltı Beach, stage 3, China defeated India. And now it is Russia and Mexico battling for the gold medal here at Wroclaw, Poland, stage 4. Just outside Centennial Hall, beautiful setting by the fountains. A gathering spot for many, many people who live here in Wrocław, enjoying the sunshine and the water. And the archery as well. Great crowd in the stands here for this afternoon's matches.
Here we go. Let's see. What we'd ideally like is a smooth, quick, crisp shot, just to get over the jitters, put it wherever it goes. Oh, he's trembling again. He's really, really struggling to come through the clicker. He got away with it on that one. That was a good X.
Willed that into the center ring. Eduardo Velez, 28 years old, ranked 42nd in the world, competing for quite a while internationally. And Aida still,
ooh, dear me.
But her shot winds up high and to the left. It's a 7, which does not bode well for Mexico, opens the door for the Russian Federation.
The door is certainly open. It's not always as easy to walk through it as you might hope. But we will see what happens. That was a nice execution, yes. Rewarded with a 9. And that's great communication. You can see by ear there talking to Tatiana. I presume he's talking about where he was aiming and that sort of idea to deal with the changing wind conditions. Didn't quite work well enough. That's an 8 for Tatiana, which means that we're all tied up. But great communication between those 2 team members right there.
Working together here in mixed team competition. 3rd set. Match tied at 2 apiece.
That looks like a very nice stable shot. If he could just finish the execution a little bit more smoothly, he would be reaping better rewards.
Tough shot for Luis Eduardo Velez.
And he's left Ada not a whole lot of time. She's down to 10 seconds and she hasn't even lifted the bow. There we are. Good
Let
quick
it go with
execution
6
and a nice
seconds.
10.
Yeah.
So a pair of 10s and 7s for each of them.
Now the question is, what will the Russian Federation do?
Yeah, once again, the door is open. Can they execute? Pair of 9s, and they win this set. They take a 4 set point lead.
10 and an 8 would do it
oh
too.
Oh dear, that was.
Oh, he looked like he thought that shot was headed for Krakow.
Yes, he was not pleased with the release on that. He threw it back into the 9. That's a great feeling when you get to throw those into the gold. That was a nice execution and a 9. There's that pair of 9s.
There are the 2 9s.
That's 4 set points for Russia. But yeah, when you have a day where you can have an execution like that, a big throw of the bow arm, and a whole lot of wishing, and the arrow hits the 9 ring, you know you're having a good day.
Use that body English to get that arrow back where he needed it to go. And it's a 1-point victory in that set for the Russian Federation. And they pick up the 2 set points. And after going behind or going down 2-0 after the first set, they've won the next 2 and now lead 4-2. and are 1 set away from winning the gold medal.
1 point away.
1 point, actually, yeah, just splitting.
Yep, so Mexico needs to win this next set.
Albina Laganova.
Mexico's best hope at this point is a shoot-off. That's the only way Mexico can win this event now. So they must win this set.
Force the shoot-off.
Force the shoot-off, then they must win the shoot-off.
Saw some great shoot-offs yesterday.
Well, and hopefully we'll get to see some today. I do enjoy a shoot-off.
Have yet to see one today, but we may be headed for that. It's up to Velez and Roman. They'll have to come through in the clutch, and he does.
He started out the last set that way. Now he needs to back it up. He needs Ada to shoot a great shot as well. They're using their clock wisely right now. They're not rushing, but they're not wasting time either. And she's got such a nice, smooth, quick execution. They can salvage a bunch of times, so that gives them some bonus time there. 44 seconds left on their clock in this last set. That puts some good pressure on the Russians. It'll be interesting to see how they respond.
Zebek who teamed up with Ina Stepanova, but lost to Italy in the 1/8 round in Antalya. Big improvement this week as they get to the gold medal match and are vying for that gold medal and may just be a few arrows away from clinching. Segana.
Nice quick execution.
Low.
And Bayer has had a couple of his first arrow on this set as well. He threw some body English behind it as well, and you can get away with that in the short term, but eventually you have to pay the piper, so we'll see how long that goes. Good execution. Nice 10. Pulled off a 10 when he needed it.
Just caught that line.
So a 9 to win this set to force the shoot-off.
Aida gathers herself at full draw.
Good execution.
Let
There's
it
the
fly,
9.
yeah.
That is 2 points for Mexico. We are going to a shoot-off.
You got your wish, you.
I love the shoot-off. It's so much fun. And in the team round, it's quite interesting as well. So this is an unbelievably great opportunity for the Russians because they have this chance to just take a shot, see where the target is, because they already know they've lost this set. So now if they're strategic about it, they're planning for the shoot-off. That's an interesting strategy if they're planning for the shoot-off.
Little experimentation going on.
So they're absolutely free to do whatever they need to, whatever they want to. Another interesting thing about Tatiana's shooting, we'll be able to see more of it. We have the shoot-off. But we also have the shoot-off coming up. When she comes in anchor, she has her style of form, the string doesn't touch her nose, which is fairly rare. And she's significantly off her nose, probably by half an inch or a centimeter. And it's fairly unusual, but she's very, very good at it. She's had a lot of great international results with that style. It's unusual, but it works.
Disadvantage in any way?
Fewer facial reference points means that it's possible that you'll be tilting your head a little bit, or the string may not be quite as straight. So you may end up with a little bit more lateral movement in the shot. It's slightly fewer reference points for your anchor, so it's just a little bit less security that your string is in exactly the same place with respect to your eyeball every shot. Because these archers shoot so many arrows, a lot of it becomes just habit and nature anyway. So the reference points are nice, not 100% necessary, obviously. Tatiana's here, she's got another match to go.
She's competing at this level, so something's working for her, obviously.
As long as you can do it consistently, it works. Lalo is looking, sorry, Lalo is a nickname. Velez is looking relaxed and ready to go.
Hanging loose. Got to be loose down there with Aida Roman. Meanwhile, Tatiana Segana talking it over with Bayer Zvektorjev. As we go to the shoot-off, clean target faces being put up 70 meters away. And our first shoot-off of the day, closest to the center, will get it done.
Score first.
Score first, and
because
then
there's two arrows.
Right.
So it's cumulative score. If one has 2 9s and one has a 10 and an 8, then it'll be tied for score. But the 10 obviously beats the 9s in close to the middle. So that's just a quick mental exercise in how you could have cumulative score the same and then you measure.
And we see that happen all the time. You'll see a score of 19 for both teams, but somebody had the arrow that was closest to the center.
Yes.
The strains of the Macarena. Mexico getting into it.
The music this week has been a little bit retro, I would say.
Ah, Rocky Bester doing a great job. Spinning those discs, playing those hits. Here for World Archery.
Pressing that button.
Yes. Everybody having a good time on a Sunday afternoon in Wroclaw, Poland. Packed grandstands.
A lot of those great JVD Target umbrellas in the stands.
Right now, a lot of folks on the edge of their seats.
A lot of Mexicans for sure. And I guess
the Russians as well.
Yep. You can hear the chants of Russia in the stand for sure.
So here we go.
Now this will be an interesting test. He's been shaky the whole way through. Here's pressure for you. He's executed well in his first shot of each set. Oh, pushed it into the 9. That's reasonable. You can take a 9.
So a 9 for Eduardo Velez.
And the shoot-off arrow, it's 1 arrow per team alternating. That's what's going on here. That's why Ada didn't walk up and shoot an arrow immediately.
Bayer.
Eating up a lot of time. Oh, and a 7. That puts Russia in deep trouble.
Sailed on him out into the 7 ring.
I think he held on a little bit long and then had a bit of a weak front end. That's most likely. He definitely held on longer than personally I would prefer to see. I understand that under that situation it's hard to execute perfectly.
She just needs a 9, right?
And there's the 9.
There is the 9.
That's the game.
That is it. There it is it. Mexico comes away with the victory as Aido Roman shoots the 9. You have to go through, finish off the set, or I should say the match, in the shoot-off, and Tatiana Segina will shoot an 8.
If we were to watch that again, I'm not sure I saw what I think I saw, but just at a glance, it looked like when she anchored, her mouth started to open, which dropped her string hand, which is why that arrow went high. I may not have seen that. I would like to see an instant replay of that to be able to be sure of what I saw, but that was my hunch. I saw her mouth, I thought I saw her jaw drop, and I was fairly stunned and thought this arrow was going high as soon as she let go.
So Mexico comes back after taking a 2-0 lead to start this match. They fell behind 4-2, battled back to tie it at 4-4, forced the shoot-off, and Luis Eduardo Velez, along with Aido Roman, celebrating the gold medal for Mexico.
Is that the first gold for Mexico in the mixed team?
I believe it would have been for Russia, but I believe Mexico has won mixed team gold medals before in the past.
All right. Because I've seen Ada up on this stage trying for those gold medals a few times and coming away with the silver, so it's good to see her come away with the gold.
So Aido Roman, a gold medal to go along with.
Archery. Power and precision. Passion and perseverance. Dedication and devotion. Intensity and integrity. Archery, the ultimate sporting challenge.
These athletes, these are just things that I'm seeing. Archers, they're doing a great job under a huge amount of pressure trying to win medals.
Very interesting situation now as Tatiana Segina must turn right around and come back out here for the women's bronze medal match. Let's set the stage for this by telling you that we already know 6 of the 7 archers who have qualified for Lausanne in the World Cup finals next month in Switzerland. Zhu Jing, Zheng De Somi, Elena Richter, Lisa Andrew, Zhu Jung from Korea, and Aido Roman are the 6 who have qualified. Now there's one spot that's still left, and it will be determined in this match coming up right now, the women's bronze medal match featuring Deepika Kumari, who just picked up a medal moments ago. She'll be up against Tatiana Segana of Russia. And here's the situation for Segana. It's very simple. You win and you're in the World Cup finals. If she does not win, Cheng Ming of China will be the 7th archer who goes to Lausanne.
And there's so many interesting things. This is, because of the 2 matches that just happened, this match is all that much better, in my opinion. Kumari here just won a match, and she just got to watch Tatiana and see how she's shooting on target 2. Kumari has shot on target 1 all day, so she's got experience there. Tatiana's got brand new, fresh experience on target 2. She knows exactly what this field is doing. And one of the things, as an archer, as an athlete, one of the best advantages Tatiana has going for her right now is her fate is in her hands. I can't tell you how much better it is when it's you have control. If you win this match and you get to go, let me have that opportunity rather than sitting in the stands and saying, gee, I hope the outcome goes my way, whichever way that happens to be.
Can you imagine being Cheng Ming right now, waiting in the wings?
Absolutely.
Looking on and wondering that it's all out of her hands at this point.
Nothing she can do. It's all down to this match here and these 2 archers. And it's this will be a very, very interesting match.
So a lot at stake right here as Deepika Kumari on target 1, taking on Tatiana Segana of Russia on target number 2. Both of these young ladies competing out here just moments ago.
Well, and how do you choose who to cheer for? I guess there's some national pride if you're Indian or Russian, but Deepika coming back from a really tough season to be fighting for a medal, or Segana here fighting for a chance at the World Cup final. There's great stories behind both these archers. This is a terrific match. Nice
Deepika
10.
dials up a 10 to start it off. Sends a bit of a message. And Segana must answer.
That's not a good answer.
Not what she was looking for. 7 points for Tatiana Segana as Kumari, who has had a difficult season.
Rock solid, but great line there.
Inside the line for the 9. She's bounced back from that wrist injury after last year's World Cup finals in Paris. Segana, 1 point better. Kumari, who shot a 676 during the ranking round to claim the top seed.
That's a darn good score right there.
Shows that she's back.
That's enough to win set 1. That's 2 points for Deepika. That was a better shot. Ooh, still.
Better form, not the better result that Tatiana Segana was looking for. Segana scored a 6-2 quarterfinal win over Marusova of Belarus, then got shut out in the semifinals 6-0 by Rahmawati of Indonesia, whom we'll see momentarily. Deepika Kumari got here to this women's bronze medal match, in part by defeating Karina Winter of Germany 6-2 in the quarters, and then lost in the semifinals in a shootout to Zhu Jing.
She shot a 10 in that shootout to Zhu Jing. So that's a good shot in a shootout. That's a bad...
And it still wasn't enough.
No, that's a bad way to lose. Brady Ellison did that a few years ago as well.
Tough way to go down, yeah.
And Karina Winter, she's a great shooter too. 2 great matches for Deepika coming into this match. 2 really, really strong, hard matches. Having said that, Tatiana Segana had to get past Lisa Unruh on her run as well, and that's a tough match. So she's got some chops as well. She's been competing well and scoring well.
Trying to relax, settle down, settle in. Trailing 2-0 in the match. Starts off with a much better shot. That's a 9. Off to the left, but in the 9 ring. So the new European champion starts off with a 9, and Deepika starts off with a 9 as well.
Looks like Deepika could probably adjust her sight like that, just a little bit to the left.
Segana sinks one into the 10 ring.
Good quick release, straight along her jawline. Nice pop off the string. Let's watch this bow jump. It should jump straight into the length of the sling.
Pair of nines, advantage Segana. And a quick shot.
Good swing.
Oh, great
There's
shot.
a 10. That means Segana wins set 2. We are all tied up.
The Russian rising to the occasion and taking the second set from Deepika Kumari,
Ooh,
who
nice
finishes strong.
Yep, that's Segana stepping up and taking that. That's not Deepika bowing down at all. That's a 28 to a 29 in set play. Those are solid scores. That's an earned 2 points.
Yeah, it is indeed. For Tatiana Segana, who had to shake off the disappointment of dropping the gold medal, did get the silver in the mixed team competition, had hope for the gold medal, now setting her sights on winning this bronze, and it's really all or nothing for Tatiana Segana. She either wins the bronze or she goes home empty-handed, and she does not go on to Lausanne, Switzerland in the World Cup finals.
That's true.
So there is much riding on this. That being said, Deepika Kumari takes this every bit as seriously. It's as important to her for her own personal reasons. She went back to her former coach, went back to her former bow, and is back to her old ways.
Nice 10. Sometimes change for the sake of change does not help.
Segana falling behind by 1.
I've been watching her mouth fairly closely for the last few shots, and what I think it is, I didn't actually see her draw drop. I think all I'm seeing is her face actually relax just a little bit, so as she's drawing, there's a little bit of tension. Nice.
Beautiful shot.
There's a little bit of tension in her lips as she draws, but when she gets to anchor, she just relaxes that out. And I think that was the motion that I saw and confused for her jaw dropping. So it turns out it's actually quite a good thing. As she draws, she comes into anchor and relaxes, and that's going to help promote a good execution of the shot.
If she has not put this out of reach already in this set, she could right here with this shot, and does.
Yep, that's 2 points. So we haven't needed the last shot on any of the sets so far.
Back and forth we go. Deepika Kumari.
Nice 9, though. That's good execution.
Regains the lead despite that 9 by Tatiana Segana of Russia.
So unlike the team round, it's now a race to 6 points, which means that with a tie, Segana is still in the game.
So there's quite a bit of action yet to go in this match, and the story yet to be told.
Of Deepika, if Deepika wins this next set, it's over. It's a race to 6, first person to 6 points. We're at 4-2 right now.
That being said, Segana could afford to split, keep the match going.
Yes, she can afford a tie.
But then would have to win the next set.
Absolutely, and that would force the
shoot off.
Yeah.
And then we get to 6. We've already had one shoot off so far this afternoon. Who knows, we may be headed for another one here in this match.
And now Tatiana will be leading out as she's trailing in the match. So we've actually had a nice bit of alternating who shoots first as well. Oh dear. That was not the pressure she really wanted to apply.
Actually, she applied more pressure to herself. I guess depending on this shot by Deepika Kumari.
Didn't look like great execution. Ooh, matches at 8. That was one of those things, as I was mentioning in the mixed team. Sometimes if the door's a little bit open and you just have a little bit of that relaxation. Another 8, oh dear.
She got a reprieve, but couldn't take advantage of it, shooting an 8 right there.
A little bit of breeze, not very strong. That looked like a better shot, better execution, but it's only 1 point. So Tatiana with a 10 here can still make things interesting.
Close. Close, but not quite.
But a 9 now wins it. And a 9 should be a comfortable shot.
Deepika Kumari going for the bronze medal and trying to knock Tatiana Segana out, and she does.
Yep, that's the game. We finally needed the last arrow of the set.
3 medals on the day for Deepika Kumari.
Good for her. Congratulations.
Comes up with the bronze medal here after capturing the bronze medal in the mixed team competition. And of course that goes along with the gold medal, or the silver medal. No, excuse me, the gold medal that she won this morning in women's team competition. So 2 bronze, 1 gold on the day for India's Deepika Kumari.
And provided she's not on an early flight tomorrow, she will sleep well tonight.
I think she'll sleep well one way or the other. As for Tatiana Segana, I'm not sure how she'll sleep tonight, knowing she had come this close to qualifying for the World Cup finals. Had to win this match, though, to get in. Did not, so that means China's Cheng Ming will be...
Tom, you were right. This really is the new Kia Sportage.
The new Kia Sportage. Trust your eyes.
We'll talk about the gentlemen in just a little.
Canada's Roger Garrett giving the bear a high five, or middle five, I suppose.
Well, either you get the bear or the bear gets you, I guess.
That's true.
So I'm told. So on we go, now on to the women's gold medal match, and not as much riding on this one, to be quite honest with you, though it should be interesting. Zhu Jing has already qualified for Lausanne, so she's in, and there's not quite the same pressure that'll be on her that was on Tatiana Segana just a moment ago. So the women's gold medal match, recurve competition, and there's a good look at Ika Yuliana Rahmawati of Indonesia. 25-year-old Indonesian archer who's ranked 46th in the world, has been ranked as high as 27th. That was a year ago. And what a week she had. A week that included a 6-2 win over Maya Jaeger of Denmark. Then she blanked Tatiana Segana 6-0 in the semifinals. Also defeated Aida Roman in the 1/8 round, 6-5. So that went to a shoot-off, and she was able to defeat Roman. So that says a lot.
And Stepanova, she had a really, really tough run to get to this final. She's beat a lot of the top shooters. You got to wonder whether or not that's mentally draining, whether the day off or the 2 days off between when she accomplished making it to this final are enough rest so that she's coming out fresh and hungry again and really wanting to win the gold. I expect every archer wants to win the gold, but that would be a pretty draining run. She was a pretty good giant killer on the way through. It'll be interesting to see how she executes today.
I'm always curious about the mental approach for archers who have one match in the day, and they've got a long time to think about it and how they handle that mentally. Now, Zhu Jing obviously is somebody with a great deal of experience, despite the fact she's just 23 years old. She's really been out there on the international stage for a long time. You see her record in match play this year. She's very tough, 9-2. But for somebody like Ika Yuliana Rahmawati, who is appearing on this stage really for the first time, to my knowledge, you just wonder what's going through her mind and all the mental preparation leading up to it and how she handles it and how she's capable of handling it.
If she's been ranked as high as 22nd in the world, she's handled some good pressure here and there. She'll have a plan in place for sure. I imagine it's quite similar to the way sprinters are. Our matches are at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, not at 9 o'clock at night. So we don't have to sleep all day long, but you sleep in, you have a leisurely morning, you catch the later bus to the training field, you shoot a few arrows, you have some lunch, you go back, you shoot a few more arrows, and you just generally get into your zone.
Zhu Jing will shoot first in this match. And the young lady who was ranked 5th after qualifying comes out with a 9.
Quick sight adjustment after that arrow. After one arrow, that's a bit of a surprise.
Rahmawati,
nice 10.
A 10 to start off. She was 15th after qualifying, but fought her way into this gold medal match.
Yeah, Rahmawati was the first person to have not had a bye, the only person in the medal matches to have not had a bye into the 16th round.
So she earned it.
She fought her way all the way up, yes.
All the way. Rahmawari. This is her first World Cup appearance of the year.
10.
She was 17th here in Poland last year, but she's looking good right now with back-to-back 10s.
Rock solid. She did rank high enough to get a bye through the first round, so she didn't have no byes. Another 9, so this is as simple as a 7 to win this set. Hopefully she'll just continue to execute 10s because 10s are more fun to watch.
Especially for the archer.
Yes.
And a 9 will be more than enough. So Ika Yuliana Rahmawari from Indonesia
takes a 2-0 lead, which means that Zhu Jing will be leading out in the second set.
Nice confidence booster for the Indonesian archer who finished 9th at the London Olympiad. So yeah, she's been there before. She's been on a big stage before, has performed well before. 9th, not shabby at all.
Well, and every match at the Olympics is like this. There's a crowd, there's cameras, there's hubbub and to-do. Every match is a big match at the Olympics.
So she's not unaccustomed to these types of surroundings and this kind of situation. The bright lights are on right now, and she seems comfortable.
I believe the bright light is called Sol.
So there's Zhu Jing trailing 2-0. Zhu Jing got here with a 6-4 win over Marchenko of Ukraine and a shoot-off win over Deepika Kumari, winning that match 6-5. Zhu Jing ranked 3rd in the world right now. She was 2nd back in April. Talented performer. And that talent turns into a 10.
Sometimes it takes a set to find the middle.
Determined look on the face of Ika Yuliana Rahmawari.
Oh dear.
Oh, but it's out there in the blue ring. It's a 6.
Awful lot of pink on that bow. There's a, I can think of a few people who would be happy enough to have that. Ooh. A little bit of slip there. Gives it a flicker of life.
Surprised expression on the face of Zhu Jing. A 10 here would be most helpful. And there you go. Makes things interesting.
Makes it not impossible. It looks like the wind is picking up. I didn't remember seeing anything in the 4.6 meter per second range. There's another 8. So with another 10, we have a push. It's possible to split this set.
Rahmawari
needs a good shot.
Got it.
Wow.
Got it.
There
How
you go.
about that?
Fantastic. That's great shooting. And it looks like, just judging from how far her sight is shifted in and how low her sight pin is, it looks to me like she's not shooting very much draw weight, which means that her shot execution, first of all, it's a little bit harder for her to release the string. Now, I'm making all of this up predicated on the idea that her draw weight is low.
Right, you're speculating, yeah.
Given that, her release has to be that much cleaner because the string isn't trying to pull itself out from her fingers as nicely as anybody shooting more draw weight. But more importantly, on a day with a changing wind like this, where we saw that little breeze coming up, that 4.6 that hadn't been really around, it had been much, much lower, often 0 up to about 2. Her arrow is going to drift farther. It's going to be in the air longer, and it's going to drift farther for any different amount of wind. So she has to be better at reading and guessing what the wind is going to do because she's shooting less weight.
So if you wanted to compare it to a sport like golf, it's like reading a putt, trying to see where it's going to break. To some degree.
For sure, but most golfers can putt the same weight of golf club. I'm not sure the analogy quite holds up, but you're right.
But you've got to see, I mean, you're trying to anticipate which way it's going to break.
Yes.
You're talking about the wind, they're talking about how it's going to break on the green. It's all about anticipation and reading things and understanding those situations, right?
Yep, and that's knowledge that she'll have learned through years of experience by shooting that bow, thousands of arrows in different wind conditions. And it does become second nature to some degree, where you can just pull up and you'll hear the wind in 1 or 2 ears and you'll feel how it's pressing on your hands and your face and you'll know more or less what it's up to.
Needed the 10, and I
Grab
think
the
she
10.
got it. Yep.
We're all square again.
Ties it up. Leading 3-1 in this match. Zhu Jing.
So if you look at
in trouble.
If we just glance really quickly, just to carry on what I was talking about, if we get to see it. Nope. If we get to see the sights again, you'll see that hers is mounted 7 or 8 notches in. There's a 9, and that's good enough to win the set. That's 2 more points.
And she goes up 5-1 over Zhu Jing.
1 more point, she wins this match. And Zhu Jing's sight, if you look at it, it's mounted as far out as it can possibly go. So, right, so you can see how the sight is mounted, and the extension is far, far out, whereas there's a whole chunk of the extension coming in behind the riser of the bow. And that's what I'm using to indicate possibly the difference in draw weight. So my guess would be that Zhu Jing is shooting a significantly larger draw weight than Rahmawati.
And yet Rahmawati has the 5-1 lead. Shooting on target too.
Works every time.
Seems to really be enjoying herself out here. Why not? She's up 5-1 after the first 3 sets. Won the first set, split the second set, won the third set, and now has Zhu Jing on the ropes. The Chinese archer, on paper, the favorite in this match, came out of qualifying ranked 5th. Ika Yuliani Rahmawati qualified 15th.
9 just out. That was a nice quick shot. Puts the pressure back on Rahmawati. Nice
What pressure?
Though.
What
There's
pressure?
The answer.
She doesn't seem to be feeling any pressure.
Oh, she's just putting them in the middle and willing to roll with that. Another 9.
Zhu Jing gamely battling on.
9s are good, 10s are better.
What do they say about not bringing a knife to a gunfight?
Ooh, there's the 9.
Ah.
This is interesting. So what does Zhu Jing come up with here? If it's a 10, it's a... So wow. The possibilities here are very, very interesting. A lot of pressure there. 7.
Really could have used a 10.
That's not good enough. That should be the game right there. That should hand the gold to Rahmawati.
Based on what we've seen so far, I would agree with you.
6 to win the gold.
6 or better will get it done. Consider it a done deal. Rahmawati.
Great shooting. That's tremendous.
Look at that smile.
Yes.
Look at that smile.
A lot of hard work paid off. She had a tremendous run. She had to beat names all the way up the ladder, and she just continued to execute. She beat the world, you were saying the world number 3?
Actually, right now, yeah, she's ranked 3rd in the world, Zhu Jing. She was 2nd back in April, one of the best in the world, and she defeated her and did it really in tremendous fashion.
Congratulations. That was excellent shooting. That was held up all the way through. There was one blip, that 6 on the second set.
Other than that, though,
which she recovered from, backed it up with 2 10s and still got a set point.
Didn't phase her, didn't throw her off her game at all.
That's tremendous shooting. That's you were saying, wonder what she'll do under the pressure of the big show.
Exactly, exactly. And we got our answer. How she handled it mentally, her preparation leading up. Obviously getting great coaching, but great execution by Ika Yuliani. Happy camper.
I love to see that level of
exuberance, elation, yeah, whatever you want to call it.
When you win, it's so much more interesting than somebody who wins and sort of nods and says, "Yep, that's me." Love to see the excitement. Now, the real trick for her will be to repeat that, to continue winning. But she's been, again, you say she's been as highly ranked as 22nd in the world. She's been on stages like this before. She'll be back.
And all was not lost today for Zhu Jing. She did win a team bronze medal this morning here at stage 4 in Wroclaw,
She
Poland.
gets a silver, too.
And she gets the silver as well, so she'll take home 2 medals. So it's been a good day for her as well. Could have been better, but it's been a good day. Hope you're enjoying the action here on World Archery TV. Along with Coach McDonald out of Canada, I'm Carl Arky, and we're enjoying the recurve competition on a Sunday afternoon as we get set now for the guys. The gentlemen will take over center stage. And just to bring you up to date, we've already filled the field for the 7 who will be going to Lausanne for the World Cup finals. Rick van der Ven will be there along with Marcus Vinicius d'Almeida, Pierre Plion of France, Brady Ellison of the United States, Oh Shin-yek from Korea, Florian Kolund of Germany, and Lee Sung-yun, also of Korea. Right now, in the men's bronze medal match, Jean-Charles Valadon of France, number 14 after qualification in the men's bronze medal match. This week, Jean-Charles, several victories, including a 7-1 victory over Lucas Daniel in the quarterfinals, then lost to Rick van der Ven of the Netherlands 6-2 in the semifinals. And there's a good look at Jean-Charles Valadon, 25 years old, and a field archery champion. 11-5 in match play this year. And he'll be representing France in this match against the Brazilian. There he is, Marcus Vinicius d'Almeida, who came out of qualifying 28th, but still fought his way to this bronze medal match. Marcus Vinicius scoring a 6-0 win over Jake Kaminsky of the United States in the quarterfinals, and then lost to Moro Nespoli 7-1 in the semis. So it's been kind of feast or famine, I suppose, for Marcus Vinicius d'Almeida, all of 16 years of age.
I think it's been mostly feast. He also shot off against Yong from China, shot a 10 in the shoot-off. He beat Talukdar, who we've seen a couple of times today, in a 6-2 match, and he won his first 2 matches 6-0. There's been a whole lot of feast for this 16-year-old.
There has been.
I think he's still hungry.
Looking for the bronze medal. And looking to make some more noise, build some more excitement for the sport of archery in South America, specifically in his home nation of Brazil. So Marcus Vinicius d'Almeida.
This has the potential to be just a monster match. D'Almeida has really powered through, shot great scores, great matches. Valadon, he's a tried and true archer. He's had a few good matches. He's won a whole lot of 6-0. His first 4 matches were all won 6-0. And interestingly, in the men's group, unlike the women's group, there's only 1 archer in the final 4 who are even in the top 8 in ranking. Valadon's shooting style is quite slow.
I was going to ask you about that. Different approach than we've seen from most of the other archers.
Yeah, most of the archers are up. He's up in 4 seconds. You heard the French coach saying 10 before.
And there's a 10 for d'Almeida.
So Valadon, it was 10 seconds in before he'd even anchored. There should be about a 10. There it is. So he's committed. He gets 1 crack at the shot each time. Slightly risky, but his calm, slow method has worked, has been very, very effective.
Very deliberate. And we're tied at 19.
And his shooting style is unusual, and it's a little surprising. So he draws back quite low with his arrow at quite a high angle.
No, he didn't look like he was happy, or was he just telling that arrow to get in there?
I suspect that was a get in there shout. And there's an 8.
d'Almeida had to have a 10 to tie it up. Instead, he fires the 8 and settles for no points.
No points in the first set. Lots of sets left to go.
So Valadon using that deliberate style of his as he draws back.
Whole lot of experience on Valadon's side.
He's ranked 15th in the world, and this is his best shot at a World Cup medal this year. Had the outside chance of qualifying for the World Cup finals, but didn't quite work out this week. He actually had to win the gold medal this week.
And van der Ven took care of that.
Yes.
If I remember correctly, though, at World Championships last year, he was the archer to shoot the 10 to win the team round for the French over, I think it was the Korean. But he gave a little fist pump. He shot the arrow and gave a fist pump while the arrow was in the air. He knew what had happened. That's the style of shooting he has. When he's shot a good shot, he knows it's a 10 and he's ready to go.
Was on that French team that won the bronze medal at the World Championships on the beach in Belek last fall. And there's a 10 to start off for D'Almeida, or a 9, excuse me.
I think I just saw him adjust his sight. All of his arrows have been off to one side.
And a boisterous crowd here in Wroclaw cheering on both of these archers. D'Almeida.
Whoops, an 8. Looks like maybe the pressure is getting to D'Almeida just a little bit in the early stages. He may settle down. Very, very calm, very, very taciturn, I believe, would be a good adjective for him. One of the jokes around there is whether or not he'll ever smile.
Interesting difference in personalities. You just saw the young lady from Indonesia out there who seemed to be enjoying every moment of it.
Oh, I have no doubt that he's enjoying this. He just doesn't smile very much.
He's happy, his face just doesn't know it. D'Almeida with 27.
Ooh, that was a really static release, but that was good enough.
And Valadon does it. Jean-Charles jumping out to a quick 4-0 lead, taking the first 2 sets. As you get a good look at Valadon, pair of 9s and a 10 for 28 total points. And he is in the driver's seat right now. In the men's bronze medal match, one more match left to go. So don't you dare go away.
Well, why would you? The next match is going to be great.
Rick van der Ven,
who's just come off winning a block of gold at a tournament, a very unique tournament in Germany.
And Mauro Nespoli of Italy, who has won an Olympic gold medal.
And he's the one in the top 8. Mauro is the one of our top 4 in the top 8 to make it to the finals. So that should be a great match. 2 good powerhouses, and but we'll get there when we get there.
There's still some
stories to be told.
And the story has not been finished here in this match.
I really like his execution. It's nice and compact. It's a swift shot. He comes back to full draw really nicely. At 16, he's getting ready, no doubt, for 2016.
Love the style by Valadon, though, sort of regal.
Oh, really static. He's tightening up on his follow-through. Often, normally you'd see that hand pop a good distance back.
Yeah.
Like that. And that normally is true with Valadon as well. The last 2 shots, he's really been static. He's really sort of stuck his hand. It's only come back an inch or 2. You'd like to see that gain a little bit.
Same story, right?
Yep. And the more that happens, the worse the arrows are going to get. He needs to smooth that out. That was sort of what I was talking about with the Russian gentleman. There's 10 points, and that gives Marcus the set.
And more confidence.
Absolutely. The Russian fella who was throwing his bow arm a little bit a few matches ago, you can get away with it for a little while, but then eventually you start to pay. And Valadon has just paid there. That was a better release.
Followed through, drew his hand all the way back.
Wasn't perfect. It was a little bit fake, but it was on the way to being good again. You want that string hand to just snap back nicely.
Valadon had the 4-0 lead, still leads it, but now 4-2 after 3 sets, heading to the 4th set. And Marcus Vinicius D'Almeida, who's got one of the coolest names in this sport. I think right up there with Real Wild.
Yep.
Great name and a great game in this match. Had a trio of 9th place finishes at stage 1 in Shanghai here on the World Archery Cup Tour this year. Ranked 14th in the world. Picked up a mixed team silver medal in Medellin. Finished 8th individually at stage 1 in Antalya. And recently won all 3 titles at the South American Games in Chile. Trying to battle back, tie this up. At the very least, gain a split in this set.
Yeah, this young guy is a crack shooter. He reminds us, he's harkening back to the days of David Barnes and Denise Parker and other really young shooters who had tremendous levels of success at an early age. That 7 is real trouble at this point, though.
Especially after that 10 by Valadon.
9. He needs 10s. This should be, at this point, it should be enough for Valadon to just
close it out.
Yeah. Shooting a little bit quicker. You heard that on that shot he actually released on the 10-second count.
Maybe the final shot of the day. If it is, he finishes strong.
Finishes with a 10.
But it's in the hands of Jean-Charles Valadon right now.
8 to win.
The field archery champion.
And once again, he told that arrow it was
Get
a 10.
in there, yeah.
Yep, and there's that 6-2 victory, so that's a good win for Valadon.
And there's the elation you were talking about a moment ago. It's great to see Jean-Charles celebrating the victory right there. He is excited and pumped up about it, as well as he should be.
Doesn't get to go to the World Cup final, but he's still pleased with the bronze here.
Jean-Charles Valadon, who had a few choice words for that final arrow, got it in there, finished it off.
You know, I'm not good at reading lips at any time. I'm probably even worse at reading lips in French. But if I had to guess anything, I would say that was a oui.
Read those lips.
Yeah.
Jean-Charles Valadon of France.
He just forgot his chapstick. Could have left a nice smudge on that. He's very pleased. I like that. That's great personality.
And
right
again,
there.
doesn't want to leave the stage, wants to soak in the moment as he picks up the bronze medal. Big celebration for the man.
Well, if we wanted to see a smile out of Dalmeida, that was not the way to make it happen.
But there will be a smile coming. There will be a day coming, and it will happen.
Very good archers. They're putting them together, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with come 20-16, if not sooner.
Putting an emphasis on that. So, in men's bronze competition this year on the World Cup Tour, Rick van der Ven won the bronze in Shanghai, Kim Woo-jin in Medellin, and Furukawa Takahuru in Antalya. You can add Jean-Charles Valadon to that list now as we get set for the men's gold medal match, the final event of the day, the final event of the weekend, and this fourth stage of the Archery World Cup Tour. And it should be a great one, as Rick van der Ven of the Netherlands will face Mauro Nespoli of Italy. Now, these two have faced each other once before. It was last year, stage 4, right here in Wroclaw. It was in the 1/16th round, and the Dutchman won by the score of 6-2. So Mauro Nespoli with a score to settle here today. The Italian archer, 8th after qualifying, scored a 6-4 win in 5 sets over Brady Ellison in the quarterfinals, then a 7-1 win over Marcus Vinicius d'Almeida. Mauro Nespoli, the Olympic gold medalist, who's 10-6 in match play so far this year. And he will face Rick van der Ven of the Netherlands. Rick van der Ven, actually 10th after qualifying this week, but was able to score a 6-0 win over Pierre Plion of France in the quarterfinals, and then knocked off Jean-Charles Valadon 6-2 in the semifinals. And Rick van der Ven, one of the toughest in the business. One of the top men in the sport, ranked 4th in the world right now. That's his highest world ranking. 7th in the World Cup rankings, and is going to Lausanne for the World Cup finals next month in Switzerland. So van der Ven and Nespoli squaring off for the gold medal. as the sun starting to fade into the western skies here in Wroclaw, Poland. Getting late in the afternoon, the shadows starting to grow. And we're set to go.
So word on the street, one of the things that's going to make, well, there's a number of things that are going to make this match interesting. First of all, Van der Ven just came back from that match in Germany where he won a pound of gold. So that's a nice little prize to pocket there. He may be a little bit tired. It's been 2 straight weeks of pretty heavy competition for him, so we'll see how he executes. It's not a ton of arrows, and he's got a whole bucket of experience. And he, you know, a lot of these top shooters, they can stay shooting at a high level for a long time. So there's a potential mental drain there a little bit. One of the interesting things about Morrow is word on the street is he's dropped his bow weight down to 54 pounds. If that sounds like a lot, that is a lot. That's still on the high end for your average elite level shooter, but he was at 60 pounds before. So that drop to 54, I think, will help him be a little bit more competitive.
Needed a 10 to stay competitive in this set. Falls behind by 2.
A lot of rocking going on in that bow. Look at that left and right rock. Wonder what caused that. I wonder if there's, what, I don't know. I don't have any idea what caused that. There's not that much wind. Oh, a 10 would have tied it up with another 8. So that gives Van der Ven the first 2 set points. Bit of a missed opportunity there for Morrow. But Van der Ven, I think, will be quite happy.
So Rick Van der Ven, the 23-year-old Dutchman, getting off to the early advantage as he takes that first set, 27-25. Van der Ven so far this year, bronze medal at stage 1 in Shanghai, did not medal in Medellin, came close in Ontario, wound up finishing 5th. A year ago, team silver medal at the World Championships in Belek, and 2 years ago finished 4th at the Olympic Games in London, just missed medaling.
We've got 2 excellent shooters, an almost medalist in London and a gold medalist in London.
Was part of that team gold medal effort for Italy as they defeated the United States in the gold medal team match for the men by 1 point.
Slow, deliberate draw gives him a 9. So Van der Ven has an opportunity to capitalize and gain a couple of points in a lead here. Looks supremely happy with that, but a 9 is acceptable.
Solid, consistent shooting by Van der Ven.
Morrow needs a 10 here to put any type of pressure on.
Okay.
Close.
It's a 9. It's not quite good enough. That's a 9 for Van der Ven to win the set and take a 4-point lead. We do need this last arrow, which is good. There's that rocking. It's settled down. Oh, there's a rocking.
No, rocking again.
I'm not a fan of that. I don't know what's causing it.
But he is a fan of 9s.
Well, it'll do.
Yep.
I believe he's a fan of 10s, but on that set, a 9 will do.
Let's just say he's a fan of winning.
Yes. I think we can agree on that.
And if 3 9s will get that done in that set, then he's okay by that.
You know what? And if you're shooting 9s, you'll get 10s.
Eventually, yes.
Law of averages. Every once in a while, you'll just miss the 9 ring and hit the 10.
That gives me hope, Hugh. And I'm not shooting 9s.
Wow. You'll probably hit 10s eventually anyway.
Okay.
You'll hit it more frequently if you're mostly shooting 9s.
Just keep trying, huh?
Yes.
Hugh McDonald of Canada. One of two recurve archers to join us today here on World Archery. Want to thank Crispin Duenas for stopping by this morning for the team competition. Hugh McDonald here this afternoon, helping us out with the mixed team and the individual matches. And in this individual gold medal match, Mauro Nespoli down 4-0 on set points, needing to win or split this set.
That was a nicely executed 9. Mauro shoots with quite a low bow wrist. There's an 8. Ooh, for the first time, Mauro has a lead, I believe.
Yep, has the advantage.
Let's see what happens now.
Slight advantage, but he'll take it.
Oh, look at the Italian colors on his plunger. Another 9.
Trying to build on that advantage.
That's a nice little touch there.
Van der Ven needing to shoot a 10 to keep pace. Keep it close. Stay within 1. Or tie it up.
There's the 10.
There it is, the 10 that ties it up.
Another 9.
Shooting quickly. And the door is open. Will it be a sweep? Will it be a straight set victory for Rick Van der Ven? We're about to find out.
That's right, 10 to win the set and the entire match.
And the match and the gold medal. And
it's
it's
9. We're going to go to one more set, at least.
So they tie, they split the points, and Rick Van der Ven leads it 5-1.
De tweede vloog heel mooi strak, maar de eerste en de laatste was ook niet bijzonder geschoten.
So Mauro needs to win the next 2 sets to force a shoot-off. That's how Mauro wins this game. Van der Ven just needs a tie or a win in either of the next 2 sets. And that means, as we discussed earlier, he needs to keep the gas pedal down. If you want to win, you got to go for 10.
It's that killer instinct going for the jugular. Going for 10
has no place in excellence.
I like that.
I just made it up.
I'm going to write that down. Can I take credit for it?
If you like.
Yeah.
Good luck with it.
No, Hugh, you get all the credit. 5-1, your score here in the gold medal match. Final match of the day and the weekend. Mauro Nespoli, the gold medalist from 2012's Olympics in London, fighting for his life right now, trailing 5-1 in the match.
Another 9, exactly the same place. If that was a shoot-off, that would be really, really close. Oop.
8.
I think that has the opportunity. That is the opportunity that Rick needed. Should be able to close the match out now.
Certainly provided the opening for Rick Van der Ven, who's been known to take advantage. Does take advantage. Goes up by 1.
Good enough for a 9. A 10 here from Mauro will make things interesting.
Maybe his only hope.
There's an X on demand.
X marks the spot.
He's happy with that.
But he knows it's out of his hands right now. 9 or better will get it done for Rick Van der Ven of the Netherlands.
There's that rocking motion, which is
oh, it's on the line. It's a 9.
It is enough.
And it's enough. Ooh, 1 inch to the right.
Far less than that, 1/2 an arrow diameter.
Yeah, you're right.
We're looking at maybe a 1/16, maybe an 1/8 of an inch.
That close, but Rick Van der Ven able to lift that bow and that arrow high in the air. The victory sign for Van der Ven. And he is your gold medalist here in Wrocław, Poland.
Not a pound of gold, but it is a gold that he will be very pleased to have.
So aside from that third set where he split with Mauro Nespoli, Rick Van der Ven leads from wire to, well, he does lead from wire to wire.
He split the last one as well.
Yes, oh, yeah, exactly right. So it ends up being a 6-2 final score in favor of Rick Van der Ven. And the Dutchman gets the gold medal, while Italy's Mauro Nespoli will take home the silver medal. Still a good week's work for both of these gentlemen. here in Wrocław, Poland. Archer.
Yes, I heard about that.
Yes, she was outstanding. Cansu Ecem Coşkun of Turkey winning the women's gold medal in compound archery, defeating Sarah Lopez, who had to settle for the silver, and Albina taking home the bronze. And in the men's compound competition, congratulations to Pierre-Julien Deloche, #1 in the world, and he proved it by winning the gold medal, defeating Rio Wild by 3 points. And in a close match, it was Martin Damsbo defeating Alexander Dambayev by 2 points. Or excuse me, it's the other way around. Dambayev defeating Damsbo by 2 points, 148 to 146. So that gets you caught up on yesterday's action in the compound category. And we'll recap what took place here today in recurve competition this morning. In the team events, in the women's team competition, it was India defeating Mexico. So India gets the gold, Mexico the silver, and China took home the bronze medal. And in men's team competition, Mexico returned the favor, defeating India 5-3. Mexico getting the gold, India the silver. And the men's bronze medal going to China. They were a 5-3 winner over Russia. Now the presentation of the medals for mixed team. And we saw one of our most exciting matches of the day in mixed team competition, the only shoot-off of the day, and that was in the mixed team gold medal match. In the bronze medal match, India matched up against Belarus, and India defeated Belarus in straight sets. Deepika Kumari and Jayanta Tulukdar.
Two very, very experienced archers combining their experience to have a solid win.
And what a great day it's been. Really capped off a great week for Deepika Kumari, who finishes up the season on a high note.
Really nice to see a good batch of success after a lot of hard work. Sometimes you've got to, as I said earlier, complacency has no place in excellence. She made a bunch of changes. It's always a risk to make changes. She had the courage to, first of all, make those changes, then the wisdom to figure out that those changes were not successful, and then even more courage to go backwards. That's so hard to do, and here she is reaping the rewards of that. So congratulations to her for getting through that.
Mixed team bronze to India, the mixed team silver to the Russian Federation. Tatiana Segina teaming up in the mixed teams, along with Bair Zibektorjiev. And they will be taking home the silver medal after really battling in that mixed team gold medal match. with Mexico. Russia fell behind 2-0, then tied it up at 2 apiece, went ahead 4-2, only to have Mexico come back, tie it at 4-all, and then win the shoot-off.
It was a nice seesaw battle. It was well fought, well won. Congratulations to Mexico. They've earned this mixed team victory.
Luis Eduardo Velez, along with Aida Roman. They had defeated Poland in the shoot-off as well, then North Korea in the quarterfinals, and beat India in the semifinals 5-3, and they win the shoot-off in the gold medal match. And they stand atop the podium here in Wroclaw. And they now have internet security as well.
Interesting. That's a surprising prize.
Now the national anthem of Mexico. Mexico is golden, Russia is silver, and India gets the bronze medal as they gather together for one group shot. Try to get everybody in there. Russia, Mexico, and India.
That's a great podium right there. A lot of archery talent in that picture.
And of course, we will see Aida Roman next month in Switzerland at the World Cup final. It'll be a little strange not seeing Deepika Kumari there, but I've got a feeling now that she's finished up the season the way that she has. She's gotten things kind of worked out, kind of straightened out, and it'll be interesting to see how she does next summer. Kind of sets her up for that, I think.
Oh, absolutely. And this year is a bit of a down year. It's the year prior to the World Championships where you earn Olympic spots. It's a good testing year. That's where, you know, Deepika's risk was slightly minimized. Trying those changes, if they'd paid off, terrific. They didn't, but she has time to work backwards and to get back onto her great form. And next year we'll all be vying for those Olympic spots at World Championships. So that's the year where form is paramount in the recurve world. You've got to earn your Olympic spots before you can even get to the Olympics. So it's a great year to be doing that kind of work. I believe you're absolutely correct. I believe that she'll be ready for next season and she'll come out bows blazing.
And she's ready to come right back out now and get back on that podium once again.
Well, I think she'd better have leased space rather than renting it by the hour.
Deepika handing off her bronze medal. From the mixed team competition, and heading back out now for the presentation of the medals to the women in recurve competition, the individual matches. Deepika Kumari winning her match against Tatiana Segana of Russia. Segana needing to win the bronze medal to qualify for the World Cup finals. She did not. And so Cheng Ming will be going instead. That field is complete now with Cheng Ming, Aida Roman, Zhu Hyun-jung, Lisa Unruh, Elena Richter, Jung Da-so-mi, and Zhu Jing.
The bronze medal representing India,
Deepika Kumari on the podium for the third time today.
Can you out and was an absolute spoiler in this event.
A resounding victory over Tatiana Segana. So a very successful trip for Deepika, who hails from the Calcutta area of India, as do many of her fellow archers on the Indian team. And quite a haul for that young lady as she goes home from Wroclaw, Poland.
She'll be able to secure her own computer and her whole family.
Exactly.
As long as she knows Polish and can install it.
Zhu Xing, the silver medalist here in Poland. She's had an outstanding season. Came here to Poland ranked 3rd in the world, has been ranked as high as 2nd. This year had a team gold medal in Shanghai, an individual silver medal in Shanghai where she lost to Elena Richter in the gold medal match. Won a team gold medal on Konialty Beach in Antalya. Captured a team bronze medal this morning here in Wrocław, and now takes home the silver medal from the individual competition. So it's been a great year for her.
And the world ranking points from coming 2nd in this event may get her up to 2nd again, or even 1st, who knows. There's a good number of world ranking points to be won here. And here's our gold medalist.
The spotlight, though, is the gold medalist from Indonesia, Ika Yuliana Rahmawati, the 25-year-old from Indonesia. And I don't think, without a doubt or any question, this is the biggest victory of her career.
It will be interesting to see if there are tears when her national anthem plays.
One of the happiest people we've seen in a long time.
Yeah, well, yeah, tears of joy.
Tears of joy, yeah. But savoring the moment here in Wrocław as we prepare for the playing of the Indonesian national anthem. Poignant and powerful and patriotic moment.
Such pride she must be feeling for herself.
She, her coach, and everyone here from Indonesia.
What a great smile.
Loving every moment of it right now. Ika Yuliana Rahmawati from Indonesia. Almost giddy. In fact, I think she is. And it's great to see. Saluting her flag, her nation's flag, her nation's national anthem. Proud, proud moment for her, and I'm sure all of her countrymen back home in Indonesia, as Rahmawati comes up with the biggest win of her career, scoring a 7-1 win over Zhu Xing to win the women's gold medal. Last year in Poland, she finished 17th. Quite a bit better this year.
Indeed.
Takes home the gold medal. And we'll see her national ranking rise, I'm sure, based on this victory. She did finish 9th at the London Olympiad. has been competing for almost 10 years now on the international circuit. But I'm not sure she's had a better day or a happier day after winning that gold medal. Congratulations to her, as well as Zhu Jing and Deepika Kumari. And last but not least, the men who medaled here today. Just to repeat, the field is set for Lausanne in the World Cup finals. It includes our gold medalist Rick van der Ven, along with Marcus Vinicius de Almeida from Brazil, Pierre Plion from France, Brady Ellison of the United States, Oh Jin-yek of Korea, Florian Kalund of Germany, and Lee Sung-yun, also of Korea. Secretary General Tom Dillon on hand for the presentation of the medals, along with the president of the local organizing committee here in Wroclaw, Poland. And again, we commend them on a job well done. A very well run, very well organized event, as it was last year.
It's been very smooth. The venues are great. They brought the good weather for us, which is nice. It was a little breezy on the practice day, I think I mentioned earlier, but once competition came around, the wind settled down a good amount, and it was as fair as you could ask for. Great competition, head-to-head. Archers just stepping up to the shooting line, shooting their best, let the best archer win. It's been a great event.
Best archer in that bronze medal match turned out to be Jean-Charles Valadon of France. Jean-Charles dropped the semifinal match to Rick van der Ven, but bounced back to win against Marcus Vinicius de Almeida 6-2. Then in the gold medal match, Mauro Nespoli of Italy captures the silver medal. It was only the second time he had faced off against Rick van der Ven in head-to-head competition. The Dutchman now 2-0 against Mauro Nespoli, but the 2012 Olympic gold medalist proud to take home the silver medal. Back to Italy, as Rick van der Ven is just as proud to win this gold medal for the Netherlands. So Rick van der Ven, ranked 4th in the world, and probably will be riding a little bit higher when we get to Lausanne next month based on this gold medal performance today. So far this year, Rick had won a bronze medal at stage 1 in Shanghai, did not medal in Medellin, came in 5th, just out of the money in Antalya, but caps off his season with a gold medal here in Poland.
That's a solid season.
Very solid season.
Ladies and gentlemen,
2 medals, a near podium.
anthem of the Netherlands.
Hats off to Rick van der Ven, Mauro Nespoli, and Jean-Charles Valadon. 3 very experienced and talented archers on the podium in Poland.
Once again, a very, very powerful shot. Great archers up there. We've run into some autograph hunters around here, and so if they manage to get their hands on some of these pictures and then get them completed with autographs, they'll have a prize for their collection.
Nice collector's item. So once again, we congratulate those 3 archers. Rick van der Ven getting some great momentum as he heads to Lausanne, Switzerland next month, and the World Cup finals. He'll be joined by Marcus Vinicius de Almeida, who we saw in the bronze medal match. He came up empty-handed today, but could be a factor in Lausanne and Switzerland come next month. Pierre Plion of France will be there, along with Brady Ellison of the United States, Lorien Kalund of Germany, who won stage 3 in Antalya on the beach and did it with his backup bow. Lee Sung-yeon of Korea will be joined by his teammate, Oh Jin-hyek. So it should be interesting.
It'll be a strong, strong final, for sure.
Strong field in Lausanne, Switzerland. And the same is true of the women's side. Zhu Jing, Chung Da-somi, Elena Richter of Germany, her teammate Lisa Unruh, Zhu Hyun-jung, Aida Roman. One last thought from today, Hugh. What's going to stay with you from what you saw this afternoon? What's the one thing you're really going to take away from this?
That's a good question. Probably Deepika's return to form. That's the thing. That's the big thing I think that you want to keep an eye on. Watch her for the next season, and coming into 2016, actually, I guess as well, Dalmeida would be another one to keep an eye on.
And I will remember the smile on the face of Ika Yuliana Rahmawati from Indonesia, who won here today and won a gold medal. Well, what a week it has been here in Poland. We want to thank our great sponsors, Fila, Kia, Sport Toto, Longines, Turkish Airlines, Hoyt Bows, and Eastern Arrows. We congratulate all who medaled and all who came and competed. And we really are looking forward to seeing what happens next month at the World Cup Finals in Lausanne, Switzerland, which we'll have for you on Archery TV. Till then, for Hugh McDonald and for Crispin Duenas and our entire crew from Hit the Roof Productions, I'm Carl Arky saying goodbye for now from Wroclaw, Poland, and Stage 4 of the Archery World Cup Tour. Do widzenia, everybody.